Hey, what's up? I'm Roller Coaster Rider,
Hi, I'm Kay.
and we're reviewing, similar to last year when we reviewed Space Hunters Adventures in the Forbidden Zone,
Oh yeah.
uh, that, that lovely, annoying, Star Wars knockoff. This year we're reviewing The Ice Pirates, another
Another
Star Wars knockoff.
annoying. No, this one
Eh,
made us laugh.
This wasn't as annoying as Molly Ringwald going, "Oh, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I saved you. Oh, I didn't ask you to save me. I hate you, I hate you."
Okay, that's enough rendition.
What? She was annoying in that
I
movie.
know.
And not only was this movie very influenced by Star Wars, but it seemed to have mild. When did it come out?
I don't know.
Talk. 1984.
It tried to use like R2D2 type
Oh,
people,
yeah.
and except for
There was
instead of
kind of
the
like a
stormtrooper,
C3PO, kind of.
right? Instead of the
Stormtroopers.
stormtroopers, they had more robots and
Mm-hmm.
people, and yeah.
And they also had like weird creatures, so it also felt like it was kind of influenced by Star Trek. Like
Maybe.
it was trying to double dip because Star Trek and Wrath of Khan both would have come out around the both would have come out.
And Star Trek probably would have, well, Star Wars too could have had,
Yeah,
that character in the beginning in the bar or whatever.
yeah.
He was in the bathroom, but
What else? This movie also reminded me of three later movies. It reminded me of Passengers,
mm,
especially at the beginning where there was the girl and Robert Urich was just staring at her. At
yeah,
her.
Mary Crosby.
Okay. It reminded me of Maximum Overdrive because the car that the villains were going on had were crushed people and they had a skull. That's pretty much identical to Maximum Overdrive.
I thought more of Mad Max.
Yeah, the villain did remind me. The villain that who was it? Angelica Houston fought reminded me of Mad Max.
Yeah, she was only in the beginning. What happened to her? Did she show up again in the end?
I don't know. And it also reminded me of Tank Girl,
Oh, yeah.
especially with the whole water is gold.
Yes. And who was it? The Templars were the ones that owned like all the water or something.
Um, is there anything else that time wise? Uh, time. Maybe an episode of Community where it showed like four different timelines. Uh, well, it starts with the chase, the movie. And what's kind of funny is that there's a bathroom joke, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah, they were doing a chase and the alien was on the toilet.
Yeah, and he says, "You take care of him." No, you take care of him.
Anyway,
You
Robert
take care of him.
Robert Urich is kind of the uh
Ringleader.
Han Solo oh god. Captain Kirk, and he has oh god, I can't remember his name. He's black sidekick. Do you?
No.
Michael Roberts, maybe?
Maybe.
Sorry if that's not his name. Uh so anyway,
Well, he was supposed to be a genius at putting these robots together.
and he wasn't.
These robots
So
were like frightened, scared. Um, they were like hitting each other, like a brother and sister, or two brothers or two sisters would, just misbehaving.
just in case you were wondering, folks,
What?
what you were doing.
Oh,
So, um, the middle of the movie kind of lost me there was like some weird worm creature that had escaped, and
Herpes.
yeah,
Space herpes.
that's a dumb joke. And it didn't really work, and they did it like 4 or 5 times, it felt.
Well, he
What?
bit
Yeah.
two of them, so.
Yeah, and when you bit them, you were kind of bleeding. It was like some weird goo, and it popped out of an egg.
He looked almost like a bloodsucker or a caterpillar, animated caterpillar.
I don't know, are we seeing bloodsuckers from outer space this year?
Or slug or something.
Yeah, folks, that's a real movie.
Slug?
No, Bloodsuckers from Outer Space.
Okay.
It's a comedy.
Well, this one did turn into a comedy.
Yeah, at the end.
They were. Are
So,
you going to say where they were headed?
they were heading towards the, what, seventh planet?
Yep.
Um, it did kind of remind me of Star Trek because most of the action took place on the ship, as opposed to Star Wars where they go from planet to planet.
Yeah. They only landed on that one planet.
Yeah, they land on the one planet, and very, futurist. Is the big guy up there okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, very futuristic for them. The car had solar panels. So that was kind of cool. Um, there was a knife fight scene, which, what was this movie rated? Oh, that explains it. Which, it was PG, and if it was PG-13, it might have been a little easier to make out because there were a lot of, like, choppy cuts with that sword fight scene. That's putting it mildly
Well,
right.
weren't they going through the time warp at that time?
No, that was before.
Oh.
That was the one with the Mad Max guy.
Oh. That the guy that had the patch over his one eye?
Yeah.
Oh, in the bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're way back there.
I'm kind of going in order, aren't I?
Yeah. Yeah, kinda.
Let's see. Uh, there's some explosions in one part, and there's a bunch of, even for 1984, these looked cheap. Fake gophers.
Oh, when they were in the desert?
Yeah, on that planet.
Gophers, I thought they were more that sand thingy.
They looked like gophers.
Yeah, but what's the animal that lives in the sand?
Oh, prairie dogs.
Prairie dogs.
They look like fake that too.
Yeah.
It's like this budget couldn't afford prairie dogs or anything.
Because the one guy was kept trying to shoot him.
They could afford donkeys and pigs.
And chickens. I'm surprised they didn't take the chickens on the plane. Or on the spaceship.
We're not making this up, people. Still trying to get the hang out of, the camera angle on this. Then, what else? They use water as like a,
Bartering tool.
yeah.
Controlling. Get people to do what they want them to.
And as Kay had mentioned, there are, time tunnels or time warps or time
and they're
dimensions.
going to the seventh planet.
And it's kind of like Gus. I don't know if this review will come out before or after that, but it's kind of okay. It's like Home Alone, where it's just okay, or it's just okay. It's pretty funny, but then at the end it gets really funny, and it's like, oh man, remember that scene? Remember that part? That was so funny, and it's like, but it's a spoilers. But it's spoilers, so
I think you have to tell them a couple things that happened.
Saying I'll just say three things out of context. Afro, baby, beard. That
Afro, like,
yeah.
big.
Yeah,
Because
that's the
what was
definition
it?
of an afro.
Yeah, but it kept growing. funny as they got older.
You don't. Why don't you reveal it? I'm not trying
Oh my
to say
god, it
these out of
was.
context.
Oh, it was so funny.
Um. Oh, and kind of like Star Wars, it has a not necessarily a text crawl, but it has text with narration, and it's not that long. It's it's kind of boring in the middle of it, but then it's like a it's like a sandwich that has two really good pieces of bread and really dry chicken.
One way to look at it, I guess.
Uh, it's only 94 minutes. It's PG. There's no alcohol, there's no smoking, thankfully. Um, there are some cuts, but you know, your kids will probably be fine. If you want to watch this and if they want to watch this, fine, go ahead. It's cool seeing Robert Urich. Um, I think this is the first movie I've seen of his.
Maybe. He did TV series.
I saw some of his specials, and yeah, he looks really young. He looks like I don't know, Patrick Duffy from Step by Step. Here, here's what he looks like.
Can't tell. I guess sort of. It's on there, Justin.
I don't know another way to describe it, or how to describe how he looks, but
Here, give me the.
so if why don't you say what you want to about this movie?
Well, the first time we tried to watch it, it was quite boring, but we had just watched a halfway decent movie.
You might as well say that movie because we're not going to review it or talk about it. Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Or Jumanji 2, Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, we really liked.
Oh, that's a good way to
We
show
could
it.
show it like that better.
Or not.
No, I guess not.
Oh yeah, it kind of works this way. Thank you, library.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to,
Oh, they even have the prairie dog.
yeah. It's like Caddyshack. Is there anything you want to mention about this movie that we haven't already discussed?
No, not too much. I'm surprised, like,
Keep talking, I'll be right back.
the princess that saves them at, like, the auction. She saves them from losing their manhood.
Okay, maybe this movie isn't exactly kid friendly. No, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
And the bar scene, the one guy that came up to her to ask her to dance, that started that all. Pirates, or not pirates, but the sword fighting that you mentioned. He was asking her, but kind of demanding her. And then when they went out in the desert to try and find the guy that would know where her father might be. So then they put the coordinates in to go find him. And then they find it's more like just a image robot. And the guy that his head kept coming off. And he had the ring, her father's ring in his mouth. And I'm like, you're not going to put that on, are you? But then the nanny...
Oh, yeah, Bruce Valanche. We didn't mention Bruce Valanche.
Yeah. The nanny cleaned the ring for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anything else you want to say, or can I give a tease for the next movie?
Sure.
Anyway, that's all we have time for. Join us next time when we take a look at a movie that angered the director so bad he never made another film.
Oh my god.
And we're not looking at his version.
Uh
Bye.
oh.
Or no, we are. Bye.
Bye bye. See you later.